Hello again, my cloudy friends. Welcome back to Cybrary Security and IT Learning's Cloud Architecture Foundations. This is Module 1.2, Infrastructure as a Service. So if you're ready, let's get in our teleporters and we will beam over to that IaaS cloud. So in our last video, we had an introduction to the cloud. We looked at a use case and we reviewed the various cloud platforms. And we looked at the different cloud modeling types that are offered to networks we as IT professionals support. In this video, we will be reviewing IaaS, and we will be taking a deeper dive into infrastructure as a service, the compute, the hardware, the storage, and the networking infrastructure the cloud can provide us. So get your umbrellas, rain jackets, and your waders on, because it's time to get cloudy. So we've been talking about and seeing the cloud evolve for more than 12 years now. I sat in a presentation from Cisco Meraki this last week, a leader in cloud-based networking as a service. Cisco Meraki offers the full stack of cloud networking products, including firewalls, LAN switching, and wireless LAN products. Cisco Meraki is a great cloud networking provider, and there are a lot of other great networking as a service providers out there for the customer to choose from. The presenter shared that it took Cisco Meraki 10 years to get to 1 million cloud networks, but only in the last 2 years were they able to double to 2 million cloud networks. The fact of doubling their global cloud networks that they have sold, seen, installed, and supported just in the last 2 years by a whole nother million shows that we are in the middle of an IaaS explosion. So this is my home lab that is protected by my cloud-managed infrastructure as a service firewall. There is a lot of white space on this diagram because I've removed my IPs and my login information that helps me remember all this stuff so that I can protect myself from all you hackers out there. So sorry, no confidential information about my lab today. Anyway, my security lab includes 2 routers, another hardware firewall, wireless access points configured in local and repeater modes, and a VMware computing host with several Windows and Linux virtual machines from my ethical hacking, testing, and exploits lab. So all of this infrastructure is behind my lab's network edge firewall and on-premise and in my physical lab. What's interesting, though, is that my cloud firewall, which is a hardware appliance only a couple feet from my desk, I actually can't log into it locally, and I can't terminal into it. I have to open up a browser, go out to the internet, log into my cloud management dashboard, and then come back down to my edge firewall in my lab to see it and manage it from the cloud's network. Pretty amazing. So we're going to spend a little time in our cloud management front end. So here I am in my firewall, my cloud management dashboard, and we can see that my ports are up and that we're moving traffic. So if my firewall is 2 feet away, why do I want to go all the way to the cloud just to come back to my security appliance? If I'm a lean IT shop, 1 or 2 individuals might be managing hundreds of endpoints, servers, and network infrastructure to keep the organization users happy. They are too busy managing the day-to-day operations of the network and don't have time to stand up and get online every critical system. They would much rather pay a service to a cloud provider to perform the heavy lifting, and then their lean IT shop only has to be the smart hands and feet. Instead of standing up computing platforms, databases, and back-end systems, lean IT can consume infrastructure as a service and point their firewalls, their LAN switches, their wireless access points all to the cloud and participate in the simplicity and elegance of cloud-managed networking. So what is infrastructure as a service? Infrastructure as a service is the model by which the cloud consumer outsources responsibility for its computer hardware, network, and operating systems to an external cloud provider. The cloud provider owns the equipment that provides the infrastructure resources and is responsible for the ongoing operation and maintenance of those resources. So this is where the cloud consumer sees for the cloud-provided infrastructure as a service pay-as-you-go, pay-as-you-use, and pay-as-you-grow models. Basically, they all mean the same thing. They are payment methods for cloud computing that charges based on usage. It's a lot like your utility bill. You only use the resources that are needed, and that's all you have to pay for. With the public cloud, the pay-as-you-go method allows, for example, in storage, only to be charged for how much data your organization stores. One major benefit of the cloud coin-operated payment models is there are no wasted resources since users only pay for services procured and not provisioned, such as we are building you a cloud storage container that can store a maximum of 1 terabyte of information, but you end up only using 300 gigabytes of storage. Be aware that our cloud platforms And our infrastructures as a service, platform as a service, and our software as a service each can use a different form of pay-as-you-use, pay-as-you-go, or pay-as-you-grow payment models. The cloud consumer, for example, could deploy and run its own applications and operating systems, while the infrastructure as a service provider would handle things like storage, replication, backup and archiving, computing resources that are traditionally provided by servers or server farms, including processor, memory disk, and networking, and the infrastructure management such as security, networking, load balancing, and firewalls. When an organization utilizes IaaS, it no longer has to buy, maintain, or upgrade server hardware. It can help save resources, time, and money by doing so. And since IaaS allows an organization to pay only for the resources it uses, the organization no longer needs to put out a big capital outlay for hardware resources it either is not using or not using to the maximum capacity. Hey guys, have you met Peter, our new HTML developer? Another benefit of infrastructure as a service is it allows an organization to spin up additional resources quickly and efficiently without having to purchase new physical hardware. For example, the IT department might need a development environment to test a new application. With IaaS, this development environment could be spun up quickly and then removed when the new application has been fully tested. IaaS allows an organization to meet hardware capacity spikes without having to add resources to its data center. Compute, storage, and virtualization are also huge infrastructure as a service offerings. When you play in the enterprise network like I do, you learn pretty quickly that organizations spend millions of dollars in computing platforms to run their mission-critical applications. But then enterprises will spend as much, if not more, in all the licensing that is required to virtualize their computing servers, such as databases, applications, and information management systems. But what about all that data center networking that is needed to tie all this computing and software infrastructure together? All the power generation to drive it, the cooling to keep the systems running efficiently, and the backup systems necessary to keep your mission-critical systems running and your critical data always available in the case of a hardware or service outage. We are talking big money to have all of this infrastructure in-house within your own secure data center. Because of all this capital expense to buy all this stuff, and all the operating expenses to run it, it is 4 to 6 times more costly to manage technology than it is for its outright purchase. It's obvious on why the cloud can be so compelling. Oh no, it's time for our scary cloud monster, the learning check. So, question number 1. Name 3 types of infrastructure as a service. What are the 2 responsibilities that we as Lean IT expect our cloud infrastructure as a service provider to provide for us? They can do a lot for us, but just name a couple. What are the 3 types of cloud coin-operated IaaS payment types, even though they're kind of the same? And which scary cloud freak of nature is in our photo? So hit pause, get your answers together, and then when you're ready, hit play and we'll review our answers together. So welcome back, my cloudy friends. What are 3 types of infrastructure as a service? Well, there's a bunch of types out there, but we were looking for networking as a service, compute as a service, and storage as a service. And even though our cloud provider has a lot of responsibilities in making sure they deliver to us exactly what we're looking for, the 2 responsibilities that we care the most about is provide us the equipment, hardware, and software, and then manage it for us. Those moves, adds, and changes, those software patches and updates, do the management for us so that we can get back to managing our end users and managing our networks. What are the 3 similar types of payment methods for our cloud infrastructure as a service? And what those 3 payment methods are pay-as-you-use, pay-as-you-go, and pay-as-you-grow, even though they're kind of similar. And who is that cloud monster in our photo? Well, I know most of you are saying it's that king of lizards, Godzilla, but I think you're absolutely wrong. I think it's the king of birds. That's right, Big Bird from Sesame Street. So in today's brief lecture, we looked at infrastructure as a service. We looked at networking, compute, and storage as a service offers. We looked at usage-based payment models. And we looked at a couple of the responsibilities that cloud providers deliver to us when we subscribe to their services. Until next time, when we review platform as a service, all of the professionals at Cybrary Security and IT Learning want to wish you and the users on your network happy packets.